Rookie typically would be on the Zoe, but that now being banned away means we're going to have to go a different direction. And RNG going with a pretty aggressive 1-2 in response. Samira, we know, is an AD carry who wants resources funneled into her. We have seen Gala play this once, and then we are going to have Wei on a Lillia, so the battle of the AP junglers. And I'm keeping my eye on Cryin, because we know Cryin plays bruisers.
We do. We know that Cryin has a plethora of champions alongside that as well, so is there something that can also prop it up? Or do RNG want to go back towards that support position, hit something against the Rell now? Maybe the Alistar, as we've seen, is a nice early combo with Samira, especially if the snowball comes through. Alistar on Ming is going to be a big one.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the route to go, especially when you can save your soul lanes and, you know, get a counter pick in one of those roles. And again, it's RNG. They could fourth pick mid. You know, they could pick whatever they want, a Ryze, an Orianna, etc. And that can always be flexed depending on the matchup. So Alistar definitely the way to go with the shenanigans that RNG are able to pull.
Very fitting of how we set it up, though, for the draft, right, Lyric? You know, solo lanes with a focus on the Chinese side, on our side as well. Rookie versus Cryin, TheShy versus Xiaohu. Solo laners have not been picked for both of these teams. And now we're going to see a lot of bans putting them into a corner, and we could get some really interesting kind of counter picks to follow through.
Now, I'd really like to see RNG come out with Lucian on 4, so IG actually might ban that one, because you think about it, right? It's an AD mid laner. You've seen it with Lillia so many times, the tried and true combo of Lillia plus Lucian. But both Cryin and Xiaohu play Lucian. So it is a flex pick that you are showing on 4, which then could potentially give you that double counter pick.
I like that. I like that quite a lot. IG, meanwhile, are going to ban the Victor from Cryin, a pick that has kind of stabilized the mid lane and has a lot of scaling alongside this Samira. So no double AP with them in jungle. But what do we get from RNG? TheShy has a lot of AD carries up in that top lane that are available if Xiaohu just indexes for something simple in lane.
You know what I realized? They also could just go for Gnar, because both of these guys mostly play Gnar. TheShy, Gnar is his most played this split by far, 6 games. His second most played is Gragas at 2. So you ban the Camille. That is one of the more contentious matchups. The only other things that come to mind, I guess, the Jayce. So maybe because they didn't ban that one, they would have to be worried. But
true. Yeah,
I think I'd prefer to see the Lucian pick come out here. But if they want to index into the Gnar, that would be stock and standard RNG and a takeaway.
I want to also add that TheShy's career most played, it's Gnar then Jayce. So he knows both sides of the matchup. He knows how to play it. And if we just get the Jayce here from TheShy, it would add a lot of poke to add to Nidalee already. Rookie has the spheres now unlocked here with Syndra. Let's see what TheShy decides to take as the final lock-in.
My guess is you're right. I kind of expect him just to go towards that Jayce pick. It gives a range. They will have poke elements with the Nidalee. It suits their comp well to where IG typically play like this, where it's about contesting over mid wave, staying at arm's length. It allows TheShy to be a menace in the side lane, and he knows that Xiaohu is the win condition for RNG, getting him ahead and playing through those side lanes.
We know this comp, if it snowballs, can get out of control. I'll quiz. Wow, that was a pivot and quiz mix.
I was gonna say.
Became Piz. I'm so sorry. RNG though, the final pick. We know that it's an R in the top lane. We get Cryin on Rumble, and that AP threat that we don't normally see.
And it's really cool because both of these guys have played at this split. We need to remember that both of them were known for this last year, and Xiaohu even before, right? Cryin, when E-Star came to prominence in 2020 spring, was spamming this champion. The things I remember Xiaohu for most was 2019, the Jarvan Rumble combo. So I'm glad RNG are sticking to this pick. And, these are night and day. RNG want to get up close and personal. Low range Samira, engage support, low range jungle and Lillia. They want to drop the equalizer. Gnar wants to get into the thick of things. IG are like, stay the hell away from me. We are throwing out our poke at mid-wave, and then they are going to try to re-engage, collapse, or even potentially fight out through side lanes once the Jayce is strong enough. So, again, 2 completely different drafts.
Yeah, what a fun dichotomy to open up our spring gala. We've got poke versus close range, set up the engage, let's go. RNG, let's be honest, let's put it out in front. RNG have been the better team in spring so far. Invictus Gaming have been very much like IG, but we've still seen carry performances. But I think the easiest thing to say is that RNG are looking revitalized, ready to go. They're 5-1. IG right now, 4-3. These teams up towards the upper echelon of the standings, and our chat's been waiting for this. We'll have a chat to them a little bit later, Lyric, and I want to ask your prediction here because I need you to tell me right after we go into our bumper who's going to win this and why. Because IG RNG are the best. I said it before we went in. Welcome to the last LPL series before we go to a break for a couple of weeks for the Spring Festival. Alistar watches over all of you. Imagine seeing that as you're falling asleep at night. And I'm sorry to put that into your head, but IG RNG, this is one I've been waiting for in particular. I've cast this a couple of years in a row now. First time doing it with Raz was the insane outplays up in the top lane with Rookie and TheShy. A year after that, I remember it was Xiaohu's absolute slaughtering. So we're back onto the Rift for another one of these great ones. And Lyric, I need your prediction here because remember the losing caster will have to, you know, kind of wear the shame
surprisingly,
at the
I'm going to make a gamble. I'm going to go for IG, which goes against all my instincts. I even like RNG's comp more in the sense that, again, it's very straightforward and feels a bit easier to execute. But I feel like IG have a lot of comfort. They have TheShy on Jayce, shooting on the Nidalee. It's, I think, looked like his best champ. Rookie on something with a lot of proactive options. And then they have Wink on Xayah, which can kite out a lot of what RNG are throwing at them. So I really... This comp just feels very IG, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I think that's a good point. You're right. It does feel very IG. Now, for the sake of it, you know, each time I'll ask you your prediction, Lyric, I'll go for the other side, just to be fair. So one of us do lose. So looking at the prediction for RNG here, just even things out.
I feel kind of bad because I know how much you love predicting IG.
Yes. I'm definitely an IG predictor, so that's okay.
Hey, we can swap off. Next game, you can pick.
All right. I like that quite a lot. Good pulverize there. Another interaction we've seen with Alistar being picked into Rell is the Ferromancy crashdown can be interrupted, the engage halted. So that's another reason why Ming, you can see the interaction there, picked perfectly for the lane.
Yeah, and let's also talk about jungle paths, right? Where we see that Lillia did path towards the top side. Lillia also matching her, but it's quite interesting to me when we do see that Shun has two pushing lanes. So potentially what we'll see from Wei is him to just finish out his clear right, do his red buff, maybe go to his Krugs, look for that recall, and go straight towards the bottom half of the map. But when you look at RNG's lanes, they're actually all getting pushed in, so...
Yeah. Every single one of them, win lane, win game, still something that's very much true for a lot of IG drafts. I also want to point out that we're seeing a Syndra versus a Rumble, a lane we don't see much anymore, Lyric. We know you already talked about the range advantage that IG have. A lot of it comes from Syndra, and Cryin not going to have too much himself until he gets the equalizer.
That's the thing, right? This matchup until 6 is completely favored by the Syndra. What Rumble wants to do is on certain windows, especially when, you know, his W, Q, and E are all up, he's going to walk forward, he's going to try to apply a stack of Comet and then walk away, and you're just going to look for these very short trades. At 6, when you have Equalizer available, if Rookie is pushed too far forward to Cryin's tower, he can drop that Equalizer and at the very least force a flash out from Rookie.
Something now that we have ability haste going above and beyond cooldown reduction could be really good. Good scout of the week though. Shun comes in. Spear doesn't connect though on a stable target. He wanted to get it past the minion wave. That probably would have been the kill even with the shield. And Shun comes in handy but not in clutch.
At very least it would have been a flash, right? So yeah, it is a bit unfortunate. And also back on our screens we are seeing that Wei went for the exact path we thought he would. Gets the recall, goes for the bot side scuttle crab, is playing off the bounce back as well. But the pivotal lane, Hysterics, still to me feels like topside. Sure, RNG's draft actually doesn't really depend on this. Again, it's about the 5v5, it's about grouping up together. But I don't feel like that's where we've seen RNG be their most successful.
Reason we set up TheShy versus Xiaohu. The matchup we never knew we needed, but let's be honest, teams change a lot. Xiaohu is still a very good mid laner. Chances are at some point, whether it's next split or next year, he could go back to the mid lane. So... unless this is him now, which would just be awesome. But seeing him up against TheShy is something that we have to feel for now and enjoy, because we don't know the next time we're going to get it. You already saw the pushing out there, Xiaohu walking through with the boomerang blade, but after getting poked down, he pays his tax and damage, and TheShy is up about 14 CS up in this lane.
And we just see that across the board, right? IG have about a 500 gold lead right now, all from laning phase. I really like the way Rookie's playing this. He's taking it slow and steady to try to zone Cryin out from as many minions. He's building a big minion wave because it is a ranged against melee matchup.
But look, Ming's roamed up. Very early, gets control ward. He will be spotted on this ward. As he clears it away, maybe it's not a wasted roam, but at the very least, Ming getting spotted out means that, okay, Lucas is going to decide to join in too.
But this has been one of the interesting characteristics of this new RNG team, right? Is that we see this very often of these multi-man roams towards topside. Because Xiaohu is the main shot caller for this team. It is, you know, it is more of a collaborative effort from what they've said in the interviews. As you can see, Ming's talking up a storm right now on our screen. But I feel like a lot of their side lane and smarter macro plays come from Xiaohu. I need to pause, though, because IG are trying to set up something cheeky.
Give Rookie more resources. He already wins his lane, and he wants to bring Lucas and Shun into it as well. They won't end up diving because Scatter the Wake didn't connect. Lucas walks over a ward, so he won't be able to move into Fog of War, heading back towards the bottom lane. But Ming's already there, a bit of a step ahead, while Shun in enemy territory, but still going to be backing himself.
Can we make that a t-shirt? Give Rookie more resources. It rolls off the tongue. It's a true statement. We all want to see it. And yeah, if IG do that consistently this split, it feels like a good way to start racking up some wins.
You know what? It's like that kid at the computer. You know that thumbs up meme? You know, he's using technology. We get Rookie doing that because the dude's got a smile that could light up a room. Let's be quite honest. A lot of our LPL players do, actually. Apart from maybe SMLZ. But that's fair. Let's be quite honest. I'm sorry, but that's true. We are looking at CS leads as we come back to reality. And RNG picking up the first dragon of the game. Okay, there's an objective. As bottom lane is the only lane for RNG right now that is holding that CS.
And IG always play like this, right? It's a lot of the time for these extended laning phases, we don't see a lot of linking up between members early on. Typically, if you do, it's a lot of Rookie trying to put out fires across the map. But as there are no fires right now, it does seem like IG are fine in this situation. I still feel like I'd want to see more out of them early on. They're not necessarily on any kind of timer, right? Because the compositions just play out so differently. And Wink will scale up to probably be the scariest threat in this game if we do go for the long haul. But again, you have the Jayce, you have the Syndra, you have the Nidalee. These are three very bursty, very potent picks early on to start finding those picks. And Xayah extremely safe. Wink's about to hit his level 6 mark. He's going to have the Feather Storm. It's going to be quite hard to find those kills.
For the Alistar, it becomes such a burden. You have the Attract and Repel to turn it around as well. So I like that you mentioned the safety from Wink. Trying to clear up the wave to get that as a good little Shattering Strike. That'll give sustain in this lane, remember, ladies and gentlemen, as they get the push. Shun spotted out on the ward here, but he's just clearing around, trying to keep up pace with Wei, who's clearing so fast.
And the thing is, they keep having information on where Shun is. They spot him out once he was topside. That's how they knew to go for that dragon play. And they spot him out once again. So he's had full information. We've seen a lot of good vision coming out from the side of RNG. And Xiaohu getting a little frisky in the top lane.
He is, knowing that Wei's coming in as well. This is a very fast deer. Trying to roll through. TheShy has his flash available, burns it immediately, pays respect. And, you know, we were talking about this the other day, Lyric. Last time you and I cast IG, we're like, TheShy flashing away defensively. Not something we'd normally talk about.
Hey, he has to in that scenario, right? If he gets
True.
tagged by any ability from Lillia, the ultimate's going to come out. It's going to set up for the Mega Gnar, which Xiaohu obviously is right now. And he was going to get insta-give. But hey, the Mega Gnar is down. TheShy now pushing up to rotate over.
Flash from Wei, away from the Ferromancy crash down as there's the equalizer in the choke. Lilting Lullaby only onto one, but is the damage enough? Boomerang strikes TheShy down, and he wants to get vision to poke him further on. But RNG have moved up the bottom lane, and Rift Herald will be taken by them in the end.
Yeah, so it's going to be a trade, right? IG are electing into getting plating, gold, EXP onto the likes of Wink. They know later on he is at that big damage dealer like we talked about, to where RNG grouping up, they are the stronger 5-man core. In this situation, they were the only 5-man core. They're going to get this Herald, and the question is typically, right, where are they going to use it? I know most LPL teams typically just throw it towards that mid lane, but RNG actually have been one of the teams to consistently try and break open side lane turrets, or even play around where they do have more plates broken down. So, you know, we could keep an eye out for where that one will lead.
Not going to be put down for the time being. Might just give a quick back recall as Lucas is going into places where he's not really wanted by Wei. Wei going to go back to clearing his own camps, but Shun gets the scuttle and then does the same. Both these junglers now keeping pace with each other after Shun was able to go and clear while they were doing Herald. Again, you already talked about the resources that are going to be given by Shelly. And I think it's important at this point just to take state of the game. It is a 1,000 gold lead from IG, but this is what we expected at this point of the game, with top and mid being favorable lanes. Even seeing here, TheShy gets his half health trade, backs away, Xiaohu against the wall, actually turning this into something. TheShy doesn't have his flash, burn it previously. Ming comes in, Swellsea dodged away. Watch out, Ep wasn't the deciding factor. It was Ming in the end for first blood.
And RNG continuing to all in on this top side. They are going to be able to get a plate. I wonder if Wei actually will elect to drop this Rift Tail or not. He doesn't have to. But IG going towards their bot side, trying to make Wink a very strong member for these later skirmishes, is a very different dynamic from the IG we're used to. And it's going to be a bit of a race that I think RNG win.
How good is this camera, honestly? You know, I know people from LEC, LCS watching around the world. I know you guys have got cool cameras, but here in the LPL, we gotta treasure something like that.
We appreciate the small things, guys.
Yeah.
The little things that go a long way here.
That's right. We are positive people with great attitudes who just like being here at the end of the day. And so does Herald, but unfortunately, people gotta die. And Herald's gonna charge on in. Bit sinister, I know. Inner turret takes a big chunk though, and TheShy's lane now becomes huge, Lyric. And I was gonna ask you, what happens now for TheShy, considering that RNG have a very extended top side?
So that actually favors TheShy.
Okay.
Xiaohu now has less room to push out and look for those plays. We're going to see him do what he's doing now, where he's going to be grouping up with the team a lot more. The nice thing, though, is it gets Gnar out of that isolated 1v1, whereas we highlighted Jayce does win. He does have the range advantages of the all-in potential with both forms. So it's still a better thing for Xiaohu that he's out of that laning phase.
Spear going to connect. Good touch here from Shun. Rookie moving into River as well. Look at the Mega Gnar bar from Xiaohu. IG group is 5, RNG pay the respect, and actually they're just giving this one up.
Yeah, and the thing is, we have pretty much all summoners, key summoners up for the IG members, right? Wink has flash, Wink is ultimate, Rookie has flash. Only TheShy would be in harm's way, but TheShy wants to play far back in these team fights.
Nice Mega Gnar. Nice, rather scatter the weak, excuse me. There was potential for engage there with Xiaohu having his ult and flash up and available.
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't go for it again. They didn't have full information of where everyone is. You don't want to overcommit for any plays when you don't have that knowledge, but so far, right, we're just going tit for tat in terms of what objectives we're getting, where teams are making plays, and we're gonna see just standard lanes break out once again. And again, this is where TheShy wants to thrive in this 1v1. He's almost at his way towards the Eclipse, and Xiaohu does have to play back and respect the range advantage coming up from TheShy.
Plus, with how cheap tier is, it's kind of annoying, assuming that you have the mana flow band in that kit as well. You can keep on trading. You don't really run out of mana as fast as you did. I have to pause because Rookie moving up wants to kill Xiaohu. He's like, why aren't you in my lane, sir? This used to be a fun mid lane matchup, but as Rookie spots him, TheShy pushes up to get the turret plate.
That must be weird for Rookie, right?
True.
That this man he's laned against probably hundreds of times, probably maybe even close to thousands with how long these two have been playing in LPL, right? If we're counting scrims. That like now he has to move top to dive him.
Very weird dynamic. Again, if people haven't been watching LPL, it was a surprise for us starting the split as well. Xiaohu starting in the top lane, and you know Xiaobai's still on the roster there, but they've been running Xiaohu. It has been working out well, and Cryine's actually getting some playtime in the LPL, which I think he definitely deserves after his debut split on E-Star where he made it to playoffs. So Cryin trying to prove himself, but up against Rookie here in a matchup that is him getting outranged consistently. He is currently down 30 CS.
I mean, this just isn't the type of matchup you want to play against Rookie, right? Where we highlighted. It's a hard matchup. Your only window in would be Rookie overextending, you landing an equalizer, and you also having full vision, knowing where everyone is. And even at most, mid lane is so short, you won't kill Rookie. You could maybe get Rookie's flash. That's it. So he took a much more team-oriented role with this Rumble pick.
And also to add that Lucas has been just moving around the map a little bit more than Ming has, so he's always nearby, and IG controlling vision towards this bottom side, bar the control ward next to River. So Lucas always threatening around, always around the corner. But for now, I know people getting upset because RNG IG, there isn't much fighting in our Spring Gala matchup, and people might be getting upset, but we are heading towards those mythic items and towards the third dragon, and usually that's the point where a lot of these teams will contest.
I feel like most importantly as well, we have the next Rift Herald coming up very soon, and it looks like IG have already started to transition a lot of their pressure towards that half of the map. with Ming having free roam now that Wei is leaning bot side, as
I'm
Xiaohu
not
should
sure.
get away.
Shun missing the spear a second time. He has Night Harvester, so could have had the burst, but not going to work.
So we could see what RNG will do now is, again, they sent Wei bot, they unlocked Ming. They can send both Wei and Ming towards the top half of the map, establish control of topside, and try to fight out for this Herald. I feel like for that to work, they would have to be on the objective first, which they are not doing. So this should just be a free Herald for RNG, for IG, I'm sorry, most likely.
And swap around, give yourself the turret as well in response. Gold remains quite even, but with this turret going down bottom side, excuse me, RNG should be able to move back ahead to the tune of 1,000 once more. With Herald going down as well, I'm curious, Luke, what do you do with this? Or am I just asking the same LPL question, drop it mid?
Well, again, we saw the first Herald drop top, which was nice to see and is more of an RNG style classic. For the side of IG, yeah, you really only have mid left, right? We look at the bottom side on the minimap, that turret looks like it's almost gone. Mid lane turret should be pretty much there as well, so maybe you can guarantee even a second charge. Oh, actually, it's pretty healthy, so probably at least only going to be able to get this one. If they're lucky, they get a second charge on the inner turret.
They got Ming and Cryin moving into position. Shun not really landing the spears. People memeing Yankos already, I'm sure. As Wink's ulti is to the left of his own team. Doesn't pull in for the root. The equalizer perfect. Lilting Lullaby at the ready. Blake's already used. So Wink's in a pickle. Over the wall. Xiaohu misses his ulti as it's flashed away. Lucas with the Magnet Storm re-engage. Unleash power. Now into the choke. IG keeping them at range. Lyric pointed out this perfectly as the burst comes through. Shun engages. And just like that, Invictus Gaming nailed down their damage. Gala comes in to bring the fight back to equilibrium. TheShy wants that sneaky, peeky kill on the back end, and IG walk away.
Sadly, Xiaohu just not able to find that ultimate. Really clutch flash coming out from, I think it was Wink in that scenario. They then are able to kite out the team fight. RNG's engage tools are all just completely missed. And then again, in that battle of range, in that battle of terrain, IG will consistently be able to win out in the long run. It's also funny to me, with all the action that we saw, there was only 2 kills. But we are going to get a replay here. Look at Wei's position. He's coming in. He's going to run in, be able to land his passive, really nice ultimate coming from Cryin as well. We saw this Roll Seed come out in the queue as well. Lilting Lullaby. Xiaohu goes, not able to find anything with his ult. I actually don't think the flash is probably even needed. Rookie then able to burst him out. And then, yeah, the rest of the members left kind of waddling away.
And now we get back to LPL territory. People complaining this is like the LCK. No, just wait. Dragon's going to reset. Look at where TheShy is for his flank. He'll be spotted out in a second if he lands this poke. There is a ward as he comes out of brush 2. At 2k for the Dragon, Xiaohu going into Mega. IG deciding whether to go on in. Unleash power. Xiaohu step at the equalizer. Perfectly down, gets 3 members to half HP. TheShy now pops on out and it's only Xiaohu to die. Thank you for the blue buff. Send him on an adventure. And IG will happily trade that for the Dragon.
I mean, RNG are still happy with that trade though, right? They walk away happy, they lose 1 member, but they get the objective. And this one's going to be massive for both sides, considering it's an Ocean Soul and IG are running this poke comp. Ooh,
again, the poke coming there. Maybe not. Magnet Storm hits onto 3. That's an attract and repel. That's just nailed the team fight down. Going golden his way while Gala hits on into the middle. Chrono trigger time, he says. IG, though, survive. He, too, will drop. 6 kills now on the board.
I almost doubted my prediction, Hysterics. I thought, hey, I like IG's comp. When Samira went in, I thought, okay, did I underestimate how OP this champion was? Thank God I didn't. Gala tries to make something happen, but ultimately, IG have too much burst. They have displacement tools as well. Let's watch it once again. Lucas goes in, really nice ultimate, pulling everyone in. Also gets a little flip in there as well. We see the poke able to come out, Shun able to finish off Cryin. This is where Samira starts popping off. Rookie then walks forward, and actually they didn't even need to displace him. They just had enough damage between all 4 of their high burst members being left open that he just got instantly deleted.
Also, I think Shun threw a heal in there as well in the end too. But Lucas is engaged great, and this is why we've seen Rell in the LPL just been so successful. Has a 75% win rate, I believe, at this point. So just showing up huge, and bounties across the board for Invictus Gaming. A Dragon given away at first, you reminisce that RNG were happy with the trade, but after that, it definitely goes downhill, and Invictus Gaming now 3,500 gold ahead at 19.5 minutes into the game, heading towards second items after their mythics.
You know, talking about Rell, she was just a champion that I think was kind of easy to conceive that she would end up in pro play at some point. I remember me and Clement were talking about this when we were actually playing about her kit just offers so much, right? She has numerous, like, stuns, paralyzes, slows, she steals resistances, she heals her ally that's tethered to her with her Q, she's a shield break, like, there's a lot of different dynamics to her kit, she's incredibly tanky, and it felt like with the right numbers, she just would be something that was easily seen in the meta.
Yeah, it's something as well people just had to learn and, like, get onto is... that was a good little engage. Ming starting off, goes with the Unbreakable Will, but the feathers fly back, and Ming at half health, he's pulled on back the Magnet Storm onto 2 while the Equalizer lines up once again. Gala ready to spring into the Chrono Trigger, hits 2 into 3. RNG, this is the fight to bring them all back against the wall. Bad news bears for Invictus Gaming as TheShy finally runs on in, turns the play. The solo landers that we were focusing on bring it back for Invictus Gaming, and RNG are left with only way.
Yeah, IG got a bit scattered in that fight, so it gave RNG a chance. But guess what? Their key soul laner stayed alive. And for the side of RNG, it reminds me similarly to how we talked about E-Star's comp in the last game. It's kind of this massive one-punch knockout combination, right? They're all grouped up in a choke. Ming finds the headbutt pulverized, Equalizer layered down, Sleep layered down, Samira jumps in, everyone's instantly deleted. That's not what happened. Ming goes in, finds the headbutt, no pulverize, instantly chunked extremely low, goes down already at 5v4. We see the Equalizer then come out. And if you look at the minimap, Rookie and TheShy are not in harm's way. Everything is being used to burst the rest of the members of IG, and we're already at a point where, hey, again, TheShy and Rookie are so far ahead in terms of gold. Cryin instantly deleted. The Xiaohu was already taking damage to start with, and yeah, it leads to this massive disparity in terms of gold, in terms of items for the side of IG. And Hysterics, I'm sorry, but it's so hard not to say the Xiaohu or the Rookie or any of that when TheShy's on the Rift. It's so hard.
You know, especially when it's Zoom in that top lane matchup, everyone's always the Zoom. I know Clement suffers from it the most, especially. We've been through that, and you know, it's always TheShy standing up to the next top laner. But TheShy in this game, you know, 204 to 158 CS. The lane has been his baby. He's almost towards the Mirror Manor as well. There's about 6 more left in the stack to pick that one up. Note that we've got a Zhonya's for Shin. He's not going the supportive build. He is full Nidalee mode in this game. We've even got a Void Staff onto Rookie with a tier that's fully stacked. So Invictus Gaming still ahead in this game, but it is good to see that RNG are not just lying down. Xiaohu moves to the top side pretty uncontested at this point, while the next Dragon's up in 15 seconds.
Yeah, and you know, I like you highlighted the Nidalee build because it's something that we just stopped talking about, because if you watch LPL, you know, we don't really go for the more supported builds, Moonstone or newer, things along those lines. It's always about layering more damage. It's just, you know, the way the LPL players think, whether it is right or wrong. So I think in this case, I think the Moonstone build would probably be better, since again, you are just trying to get through that initial burst from RNG's comp. But let's see what Shun can do with the Night Harvester, as he's already had a good performance this game.
Yeah, he has. Missed a couple of spears again. Like he's definitely missed his fair share of spears, but coming into these fights pretty clutch. And Rookie, yeah, not going to let the patience wear dry. We're 2 Dragons apiece, Lyric, and 2 apiece at 23 minutes means we're going to have a very late soul if we get there. But you already talked about the compositions, not necessarily about the scaling, because if we go to scaling, we look at one core member and Wink, but very much about IG keeping RNG at bay and away from them, not letting Gala get that ult off without getting CC'd or killed immediately. And Invictus Gaming trying to continue using that range against Xiaohu. Okay.
I like this from IG because the fact is, RNG don't exactly have the comp at this point in time to rush the Baron. Maybe if we saw the Liandry's Anguish out of way, it could have been a play they could potentially go for and then look to turn if they can get the numbers advantage fight. But we do see that way went for the Zhonya's first, playing that more defensive route, going for more of this initiation sort of role. So RNG, I'm sorry, not having that option, and IG allowed to look for picks in the bottom half of the map.
Invictus Gaming then pull back, get TheShy back into the lane, and he's going to be shoving up. Look at the angles they can play through. RNG only top wave pushing with losing priority through the mid lane. And do you see what I'm seeing? I mean, this is RNG just trying to find that force, that measure that gets him a bit more gold back in this game.
The thing is, all summoners are up for the side of IG. Wink is extremely safe, Rookie and TheShy as well. And I like it. They're pushing in the mid wave, rotating towards bot, laying down the siege on Xiaohu in the bottom side turret. Now we're going to see them reset and probably look to make the same moves again, With the tower being so low, they should be able to get this one off before going for that.
And you just give more gold to TheShy. I mean, this is going to be a third item, lethality, of course. People like Gala, people like Cryin, not going to survive. You know, we know Jayce, when he's in a good position, what he does in League of Legends. And when you have poke comps that are accelerated, the three, you know, top side of the map here, Rookie, Shun, TheShy, it takes a spear, it takes a scatter the weak. People are dead immediately. That's going to be super easy to execute as well. So very scary territory for RNG. And Lyric, I want you to walk me through how the next dragon looks like, whether RNG can contest or what position they're up as they move closer into the mid game.
For me, RNG wants to be on the objective first, just for the fact that I feel like IG has such an easier setup if they are just able to keep layering the poke over the terrain or through river, and then RNG never really get a chance. To where if RNG are on the objective first, sure, that same poke comes through, but then IG are the ones in choke points and in very narrow areas where RNG can look to layer down their AoE abilities and try to find that engage. Both teams have someone who could face check, so that's not a big deal, but it's really about the location the fights are happening, because we see RNG's comp, right? They want small enclosed spaces.
I like that, because turning for an objective, something that a lot of teams don't often play for, you know, and I say turning for an objective because it's finding IG in these chokes you mentioned and then capitalizing on a big move. Trying to hit that swell seed so he gets a lilting lullaby, maybe forcing out summoners. There's no QSS there on the side of Wink either, so he'll have to use something like the Featherstormer's potential. Good scout of the week from Rookie, meanwhile, as we're continuing to group up.
Yeah, we got to remember as well with the seeds coming out from Lillia, if he does land that sleep on one member...
Ooh. Stride Breaker gets pulled back in, but now he's in harm's way, sends them back to the team. Invictus Gaming are lined up, though. It's not a choke, but it's a perfect angle for Gala. Then Gap closes, gets his double, but Unleashed Power still there. The poke huge, TheShy gets a Shock Blast. Flashing away, though, from Wei. He can turn the play, as TheShy just waiting for his cooldowns to come back up. Wei running like the deer he is. In headlights, Lyric. In damn headlights. It's all IG all the way.
And there were some good things in that fight for RNG, but ultimately they over-aggressed in multiple areas. IG are going to take it. IG should be able to get the Baron. And IG also a bit greedy. They want their cake, and you know that they want to eat it too, because they're sending Rookie to go for a mid lane turret while also working on that Baron.
Of course.
And Dragon's coming up soon as well, Hysterics.
They'll take it all. I mean, they've got healing, they've got sustain there. Rookie's going to do a lot of damage to these turrets. Has to worry about Xiaohu and Gala, who are coming back up and available, but this inhibitor turret's going to go. The Dragon at the ready, ping's going down. Baron there too. 8,000 gold and then some. Let's make it 9 at this point. Invictus Gaming are showing up big in game 1.
Yeah, they do have to go for some resets right now, so RNG might be able to get that Dragon while we're in this replay, but we see Xiaohu trying to aggress. They are able to get away. Puts himself in an awkward position, but his ultimate at least leads to this equalizer. The problem is Gala goes too far forward, goes under turret, gets instantly bursted out, and he was the one dealing all of the DPS at that point, because Rumble ultimate was down. Rumble did his job. It was up to Gala at that point in time.
And let's highlight that Cryin's ultimates have been great, as Ming almost caught out. TheShy waiting, sends out a small Shock Blast, as this is going to lead to Dragon Soul point. It is an Ocean Soul for a poke comp as well, Lyric, and that's always devastating. So hard to kill them even if you close the gap. So in 5 minutes, there's definitely going to be a fight, one that RNG do not want to give up.
And we got to remember that it's so good up against a poke comp. So it feels like that's the bigger thing to me, that our IG were able to deny this. And of course, right, we know Dragon Souls are just too OP. So in any circumstance, it's always good to get. That is obvious as TheShy
Flashes away defensively, but takes almost Ming with him. Cryin actually out of position, gets half health. This is so much Jayce damage. Now with the Baron minions and the poke that's come through, RNG have to go back to base, and IG just going to push in another inhibitor.
Yeah, IG just keep going, and this is where TheShy's strengths are, in my opinion, right? Doesn't matter if he goes down or puts himself in harm's way. He is going to deal so much damage in the meantime and set up for the win.
Ming's going in. Once again, the equalizer laid down, but Rookie heals up, unleashes power, unleashes hell. Invictus Gaming have taken 3 with them, and RNG, all they can do is squirm in their boots, as IG want to close this out in under 30 minutes.
Yeah, IG easily take this one. Very dominating victory from them. Great performance from their top side of the map, as we highlighted, and starting off the Spring Gala with a bang.
You were right. Invictus Gaming getting their comfort picks and winning out under 30 minutes. The ease shown on screen, and what we saw was Shun exerting dominance, TheShy and Rookie having great laning phases. That's what we've always talked about, right? Stay in the lane for as long as possible with IG. Keep their lane kingdom going. and we eventually get to a point where their leads inhabit the whole map.
And it was cool, right? We got a very IG style composition, very long range, a lot of carry threats, not very many frontliners. It's about being able to control distance, being able to tether very well, mechanically being better than your opponent, in my opinion. And guess what? In this game, they were. RNG's draft was the complete opposite of this, very short range, very team oriented, and they weren't able to pull it off. They lost out in the early skirmishes, and it gave IG the edge they needed to drive this win home.
It was really impressive because Invictus Gaming in the past, and especially last year, what we talked about was that they'd still find these early leads, but they wouldn't close it out. They'd be clumsy. The mechanics aside, the coordination wasn't there. What we're seeing this split is an IG that are really put together, and I think Cryin is a big part of that as well. The posture of IG is just so much better than what we saw, with Ning and in the past with Lillia as well.
I do want to say, I'm very happy we were getting Lucas on the Rift because, Baolan seemed like an integral role to the team, but Baolan's individual ability was faltering. And Lucas is coming in, right? He's not necessarily popping off. He's not a complete standout, but he's giving more stability, and he also is having more impact than someone like Southwind did when he was on this roster. So that's good to see, but, bot lane did their job. I still think topside was the highlight of this matchup. TheShy, of course, we already highlighted, dealing as much damage as possible. Shun having a really good early game, and we even saw Shun in rookie numerous times once the mid game started hovering towards the side lanes and looking for these picks with TheShy.
Even though it's a double AP combination, Rookie and Shun, if Scatter the Weak lands, the burst out of Syndra and Nidalee, it doesn't matter who you are, you lose. So there's always that threat there, and Cryin got bullied throughout the laning phase. I want to point out what RNG did well, which was kind of layering down for Cryin, or at least Cryin setting up for the rest of RNG. But there was never that coordination, right? There was never Gala coming in and finding the perfect ult into Gnar ulti. We got one of those, but RNG never won off the back of it because either TheShy or Rookie wasn't there, or Gala goes too deep. There was always something.
Yeah, it's hard to just say one member of RNG did well and the rest did show up, anything like that, because again, their setups for these fights would have been extremely hard to take into what IG's comp had, and it felt like, especially those earlier skirmishes, we would have needed to see them set up more correctly. And when you have something like a Gnar in the top side, again, very awkward to synergize with how the Rumble ult's going to come through. And like you said, it just felt like there were too many members making misplays on this team. Even Ming, there was a time when he made the headbutt, but no pulverize.
I think Ming especially there was it was definitely something. Now, Lyric, as we're talking, obviously